Hi, welcome back to my channel. So I'm back with 5 more family meal ideas for you. I've still kept them relatively inexpensive, but there is a mix of £1 and £2 type dinners, and that's basically because we have had a date night in and a few takeaways as well. So hopefully you enjoy that variety and you can see how to recreate some of those dishes and still stick to your pretty tight budget. But let's get cracking and I'll share with you what we ate this week. First up, I have a pretty standard roast beef dinner. You've seen me make it lots of times with my homemade mustard beef gravy, vegetables and roast potatoes, just a really typical roast dinner. The next evening the kids will be eating separate from us, so I've just cooked some spaghetti. I'm using some of my homemade pesto, which I freeze in batches. Such a time saver doing that. Cooking off some bacon, and it's just a really simple pasta dish. They love it with some garlic bread, sprinkle it with some Parmesan cheese, and it's very filling for them. I don't want it to take longer than 15 minutes because I'll be cooking that evening for ourselves. Then I've got my lamb cutlets, I've got my egg wash, some panko breadcrumbs alongside some grated Parmesan cheese. I love the panko breadcrumbs because it gives a more delicate, lighter breadcrumb finish. These will be dipped, fried off and then put into the oven to finish off. Meanwhile, I'm warming through my potatoes for a potato salad. I've got my halloumi cheese cooking alongside my green beans, and then everything is just plated up. You will see there the finish of that lamb cutlet, the nice breadcrumb finish. We've got our halloumi cheese there grilled with some pesto, the warm potato salad mixed with the green beans, and I just simply made a red vinaigrette for that, and we've got some nice fresh mint as well that just peps it up, and all the flavours are lovely. This comes in at just under £3, but it is a really nice, almost restaurant type dinner that we love. Next up, I'm marinating some chicken. I've got a nice light crispy batter, and I've made a Chinese honey chili chicken sauce. This is from a recipe I did a Come Cook With Me, so I will link it down below and you can follow it step by step. I have to do the chicken in batches for the volume we need. I am sauteing down my onions and sliced peppers. There is a little bit of prep in this dish, but honestly it's so worthwhile. I've had half a duck in the oven, and now that it's nice and crispy, I'm leaving it to cool before I shred it down. Then in the wok, I just start adding my chicken with a little ladle of the sauce, adding in the cashew nuts. There is absolutely no time to film. The kids were just dying to get stuck into this. So we're having it with some basmati rice, and then obviously the duck is laid out with the pancakes, the croissant sauce and the little spring onions so that we can wrap them up as well. And this came in at a fraction of the cost of our takeaway for our little Chinese banquet. With leftovers, you can also put it in a wrap for lunch with a little bit of melted cheese and a side salad, but you could also make that into a second dinner for the week as well. Finally, I am making a roasted butternut squash soup. I've got my onion, garlic cloves and some carrots, and my secret ingredient is a cooking apple. Then I'm going to use some olive oil, basil and ginger, and you want to have some good vegetable stock as well. I'm just using OXO cubes. I've got my salt and pepper, and this is a very easy way to make this soup. So I like to slice the squash lengthwise, put it into a baking tray and put a heavy glug of olive oil and season it with salt and pepper. This will take up to an hour to cook in the oven. You want it really nice, soft and pulpy. And then in the other pan, I've diced all the other veg with the garlic, added in my vegetable stock. This will simmer down and soften. Adding in that ginger, it brings out loads of flavour off the apple. And then once the butternut squash has been cooked, I let it cool a little and then scoop out all of those seeds. You could actually keep some of those seeds and toast them up, and that would be a lovely topping in the soup as well. But I've just taken all of the flesh and added it into my soup. Then I go in, once it's slightly cool, with a hand blender. You can equally put it into your food processor and get it to the consistency which you prefer. I like mine quite medium, still chunky enough, but everything is blended through. Have a good taste at this stage. I could give you measurements, but I always think go by taste. I've added in some cream and also a little bit of curry powder. I just fancied it last minute, but for future reference, normally if I'm cooking a soup, I will do curry powder with the diced veg just to cook it off. But this time it was really nice and just added a bit of flavour as well. So this is cooked early in the day. We come in after busy after school clubs, and Jude is helping me grate or eat some cheese. And this is to make some cheesy quesadillas that we can dip into the soup. And I find when you get them involved with the cooking, they're really keen to eat up the food as well. So he's just oiling some of the tortilla wraps. Dylan is in charge of doing the flipping duty. And then that is us, just an easy little tea. It's all plated up there. And I've had a little bit of cream on the top. There's enough for everyone to have a good few portions if they want to. And it's quite a light tea for us, but we know we've got our St. Patrick's Day weekend with lots of food coming up. There was a little bit of room for a nice little sponge cake that we had as well. So hopefully you enjoyed the video as much as Pearl enjoyed the cake, if that's at all possible. Do give the video a like, and of course if you're new around here, make sure to hit subscribe and the little bell next to it so that you will see more videos like these. But as always, thank you very much for watching, guys.